In New York City, they still regularly have protests in their streets on behalf of the Middle East. Where the NYPD is finally sick of it. Now, this entire account is very much in favor of these protests, but the comments are definitely not fans of them, getting sick of them blocking the streets, and even calling for these old ladies to be arrested. Now, I've always despised these types of protests, as blocking the streets in America has never impacted wars overseas or even our funding of these conflicts. And yet the era of social media grandstanding and seemingly unlimited free time in the EBT class has brought us constant street closures in the name of meaningless protests. And it's one thing when they're blocking the streets on behalf of BLM or directly against Donald Trump, but I always found it funny when these far-left groups march in the streets for world peace, when ironically, they're marching on behalf of Donald Trump, as oddly enough, the leader of the Republican Party is now the only politician that actually brokers peace, as even before he took office, and he had just won the election, ceasefires were finally made after 4 years of increasing tensions. Now, I do understand even conservatives are confused by his next move.
The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip, and we will do a job with it too. We'll own it and be responsible for dismantling all of the dangerous unexploded bombs and other weapons on the site, level the site and get rid of the destroyed buildings, level it out, create an economic development that will supply unlimited numbers of jobs and housing for the people of the area.
Mr. President, you've said before that the U.S. would buy Gaza, and today you just said we're not going to buy Gaza.
We're not going to have to buy. We're going to have Gaza. We don't have to buy. There's nothing to buy. We will have Gaza.
What does that mean?
No reason to buy. There is nothing to buy. It's Gaza. It's a war-torn area. We're going to take it. We're going to hold it. We're going to cherish it. We're going to get it going eventually where a lot of jobs are going to be created for the people in the Middle East. It's going to be for the people in the Middle East, but I think it can be a diamond. It can be an absolute tremendous asset for the Middle East, and you're going to have peace. It's going to bring peace in the Middle East.
And obviously, I don't understand the intricacies of what's going on there. Is this straight up contrary to an America First mindset? Or is it just a negotiation tactic to get something further down the line? Or is it that I just don't know enough about what's going on in other countries to formulate a legitimate opinion about any of it? It's probably a mix of all three, but if I'm judging by the people that are actually leading those countries, it seems like they think it's a good idea.
I truly believe, with all the challenges that we have in the Middle East, that I finally see somebody to take us across the finish line to bring stability, peace, and prosperity to all of us.
Now, there are concerns regarding this from the left.
Mr. President, how do you know that the Palestinians don't want to leave their land? Some people say this is ethnic cleansing. You won't be able to force them to leave their land.
We're moving them to a beautiful location where they have new homes, where they can live safely, where they'll have doctors and medical and all of those things, and I think it's going to be great. Yeah, any questions?
One of the things that we can do right away is take 2,000 children that are either cancer children or in a very ill state to Jordan as quickly as possible, and then wait for, I think, the Egyptians to present their plan on how we can work with the president to work on the Gaza challenges.
So you're
Excuse me, wait, just please. I didn't know that, what you just said, 2,000 children with cancer or other problems, and that's really a beautiful gesture. That's really good, and we appreciate it.
And again, I trust next to nothing I see on the news and just try to read between the lines on what they could possibly be hiding. Now, you would think that these people protesting in the streets of New York City would be satiated by this resolution, but honestly, I think we're to a point that even if this was a valid compromise, if it was provided by Trump, they would still want to reject it, because half the time these on-the-street movements aren't what they seem to be. as we now have these large groups marching through DC, protesting against Trump's DOGE.
Another live event as we are taking a look out of Washington, D.C. as Democrats are protesting the Department of Government Efficiency.
What's going on in this world right now? Protecting the civil service system and getting Elon Musk a grubby Paul out of our data. He don't know that.
Which just seems incredibly inorganic that these liberal voters would be marching on behalf of auditing the theft of our tax dollars by the rich and powerful, which leads us to believe these protests aren't what they seem.
They're literally standing out there with signs that say, arrest Elon Musk.
Listen, I guarantee it's organized. I guarantee it's organized by the same people that are going to lose a load of money based on all these discoveries at DOGE. There's no way they're not. If you look at what DOGE is uncovering, what they're uncovering with this USAID stuff, a lot of that stuff was organizing through NGOs protests. They organized the attempt at getting Trump impeached.
I thought you were going to say killed.
They organized the impeachment.
That's come out.
And when you have a lot of money involved, you're going to have organized protest. When you see protests, we all want to think protests like the 1960s. Yeah, fight the war, man. It's like organic, like peace, love, and hippie. But that's not what this is. What this is organized, funded protests where someone is spending a lot of money and they're mobilizing other NGOs. They're using their access to these mailing lists and all these different things. They're putting these things together.
And it all starts to make sense when you frame this as just another part of their political war machine, instead of a grassroots movement on behalf of world peace. As if that was their genuine goal, you would think they'd spend less time blocking the streets and more time maybe running for their local congressional seat to push anti-war policies, or volunteering for a local leader that shares those goals, or at the very least, registering people to vote in their district. But no. The only thing they can provide is their time sitting on the streets, wasting police resources to babysit them as they throw fits like literal toddlers that can do nothing but cry and demand that the adults take care of the heavy lifting. So if you appreciate alliteration over my concise, lighthearted commentary on how America is finally back, hopefully I've earned your subscription and we can chat again soon.